The Amazing World of Gumball, the animated series that redefined what a cartoon could be. Known for its fearless fourth wall breaks,
Everyone's spying on everyone. There's probably someone watching us right now. Huh?
wildly inventive animation styles, and its non-stop parade of internet-ready memes, Gumball didn't just play by its own rules, it tossed the rulebook out entirely. For over a decade, it's been one of the boldest, weirdest, and most beloved shows in modern animation. By now, in 2025, something unexpected is happening. The series is undergoing a complete rebrand. Say goodbye to the Amazing World of Gumball, and hello to its brand new title, The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. Wait, seriously? Why the name change? What's the reason behind the rebranding? Is this just a surface-level marketing gimmick designed to catch attention, or does it signal a deeper creative evolution for the series? And more importantly, what does this mean for the characters, stories, and chaotic tone fans have grown to love? In this video, we're breaking down everything we know so far about this strange new chapter in the Gumball universe. From official statements and fan theories to clues hidden in past episodes, we'll explore the real motivations behind the name change, what elements of the original series are staying intact, and what's about to get even weirder than before. Buckle up, because Gumball's world is about to get a whole lot wonderfully weirder. Let's begin with the most obvious and most talked about change, the name. When the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball was first announced, many fans were confused. Was this a sequel, a reboot, a spin-off aimed at a younger audience? But here's the truth, this isn't a side project or a soft relaunch, it's officially Season 7 of the original Amazing World of Gumball storyline. The characters, the world, and the lore are still intact. What's changed is how the creators want us to view that world. So why the new title? According to the creative team behind the series, this rebranding wasn't just a flashy marketing tactic or a gimmick to generate buzz. It was a carefully considered decision that reflected just how far the show has come since its debut over a decade ago. Gumball has never followed a conventional path, and over time it's become more daring, more experimental, and infinitely stranger in the best possible way. Back when the Amazing World of Gumball first launched, it already stood out with its mixed media animation, eclectic characters, and absurd humor. But what began as a quirky family sitcom gradually morphed into something far more complex and surreal.
It's my movie voice.
You sound like you're gargling gravel.
Look, you want this trailer to be average, or you want it to be good?
Alright, whatever.
The show started breaking the fourth wall more frequently, satirizing everything from internet culture and consumerism to storytelling tropes and even its own network. Episodes became more meta, self-aware, and more chaotic. The boundaries between genres, tones, and even dimensions began to blur. The original title, while iconic, began to feel a little too tame for what the show had evolved into. Amazing just didn't cut it anymore. The new name, The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball, is a deliberate acknowledgement of what the series has always been at its core, an unapologetic celebration of the absurd. Let's be honest, this is a world where a goldfish grows legs, goes to school, and becomes your best friend and brother, where background characters are talking toast, balloon animals, and living potatoes, where the rules of physics, logic, and even narrative structure break down regularly, often for the sake of a single joke. The weirdness isn't an accident, it's the point. Each episode can start as a lighthearted schoolyard conflict and spiral into an animated fever dream. One week it's a heartwarming family story, the next it's a Matrix-style glitch fest with existential undertones. Gumball's never been afraid to get weird, and now it's proudly wearing that weirdness as a badge of honor. The new title isn't here to replace the heart of the show, it's here to emphasize it. This isn't about changing what made Gumball great, it's about fully embracing it. In fact, The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball might be the most honest title the show has ever had. It tells fans both the new and old, you're not just stepping back into Elmore. You're diving headfirst into a universe that's weirder, wilder, and more creatively unhinged than ever before. And that's exactly the point. So with all this talk about a new era, what's actually changing in the wonderfully weird world of Gumball? Let's break it down, because while the heart of the show is still beating strong, there are some major updates that longtime fans are definitely going to notice. First up, the visuals. Gumball has always been known for its unique blend of animation styles, mixing 2D characters with 3D backgrounds, photorealistic textures, and even live-action elements. But in this new season, the animation isn't just quirky, it's evolving into a full-blown multimedia spectacle. The new episodes push that chaotic aesthetic even further. We're talking full-on mashups of 2D hand-drawn animation, CGI, stop motion, claymation, live-action inserts, and even puppetry, all sometimes within the same scene. It's not just variety for variety's sake, the different styles are being used to amplify the weirdness, shift perspectives, or heighten emotional beats in ways that are more expressive and more bizarre than ever before. It feels like the animation itself is now a storytelling tool, reflecting the show's unpredictability and surreal tone. If Gumball's world always felt like it was teetering on the edge of a cartoon meltdown, this new version jumps headfirst into the chaos. Next up is one of the biggest changes fans have been talking about: the voices. Gumball, Darwin, and Anais are all now voiced by a new cast. The reason is simple. The original child actors aged out of their roles, as is tradition with the show. It's something Gumball has navigated before, but this round feels different, mainly because the name change and visual updates make it feel like part of a broader reinvention. Yes, hearing new voices for beloved characters can be a bit jarring at first, but the creators have been careful to preserve the essence of each character. The comedy, delivery, and dynamic between the Wattersons are still on point, just through fresh vocal performances. It's a shift, not a loss. Another major change, where you can actually watch the show. Unlike past seasons which premiered on Cartoon Network, The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball is launching directly on Hulu and Disney Plus for US audiences. That's a pretty big deal, and a clear sign of how much the media landscape has changed since Gumball's early days. Internationally, it will still air on Cartoon Network and stream on Max, but the shift to streaming first in the US reflects how younger audiences are consuming content now, on demand, on mobile, and at their own pace. It also means the show might have a bit more freedom to play with structure, pacing, and episode length. And finally, even the little things are getting a weird refresh, starting with the title card. Gone is the classic theme we all know and love. In its place is a new intro that's faster, more chaotic, and way more meta. The tone is immediately self-aware, poking fun at itself, the series' legacy, and even the idea of a rebranding. It feels like the show knows exactly what it's doing and isn't afraid to call itself out while doing it. The result? A tone that's even more absurdist than before, if that's possible. It's not just embracing the weird, it's leaning into it with full confidence. Bottom line, this isn't a total reboot or a reset, it's a level up. The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball is still the same show at its core, but now it's louder, stranger, and more creatively unhinged than ever. And honestly, that might be exactly what Gumball was always meant to be. So why rebrand now? What made 2025 the perfect moment to usher Gumball into this bold new chapter? A chapter that's not just amazing, but wonderfully weird. According to the show's creators, this decision wasn't made lightly, nor was it driven purely by branding or a business strategy.
It's a weird thing for me because this show was made essentially in Europe, and it's in the US that we found like our biggest audience, and this is like the audience that made our success across the world, you know? And so for the first time we got to meet them personally, and it was like an outpouring of love, and I felt like very touched by that.
How did you guys feel?
Amazing. I like Comic-Con's like such a fun place. It's like full of people who are passionate about animation and film, so it's always really cool. I think a lot of times when you're working on an animated show, you're doing it in isolation. Mm-hmm. You're like in an office most of the day, like, and then coming out to events like this, you're just reminded like, oh, there are people out here that love this show, and they're like picking up on our messages that we're putting out, and that's always really gratifying, and really thankful about that.
Yeah, super rewarding to engage with the fan base who have like made the show the success that it is. Yeah.
Now, of course, this is not like a continuation, right? It's sort of like made for a new generation, not really for the old fans, or is it?
No, I think it's very much a continuation of things. It just happened to have like gone on a bleep for a minute, you know, and we're acknowledging this. Like, we acknowledge just anything that's outside the show, we tend to include into the show as well. But at the same time, we're aware that like the world has changed and that like there's stuff happening now that we wouldn't have been able to talk about way back when. So we're broaching like modern topics like AI or social media addiction for children and stuff like that.
And what about filming the different animation sequences this time around? Is it getting much easier?
It's been really interesting to see how a show as multifaceted as Gumball is made, because like a lot of shows, you know, they're kind of all done the same technique. But we partner with a studio called Soy in Germany, and the really fun thing about that is they have a lot of talented artists that grew up as fans of Gumball, so their enthusiasm for the show translates into really strong animation. Like, they genuinely love the show and they want it to be good, and we exploit that.
It was a response to the times we're living in, a world that's becoming faster, louder, more surreal, and, let's face it, undeniably stranger. And if there's one show that's always thrived in the middle of cultural chaos, it's Gumball. From the beginning, the Amazing World of Gumball mirrored the absurdities of modern life through a hyper-stylized cartoon lens. Whether it's poking fun at internet culture, school, politics, consumerism, or the randomness of everyday interactions, the show has always worked as a bizarre but sharp reflection of reality. So in a time where the real world often feels like a meme come to life, the creative team saw a unique opportunity to let the show evolve alongside the culture it's always been parroting. Enter the wonderfully weird world of Gumball, a name, a tone, and a direction that embraces this evolution with open arms. And perhaps the most exciting part of the shift, the return of Gumball's original creator, Ben Bocklett, who stepped back into the fold as executive producer. His presence bridges the gap between the series' earlier days and its new direction, preserving the DNA of the original while giving it the new team room to innovate. It's not about replacing the past, it's about building on it. The team has made it clear, this isn't a reboot, and it's not a sequel either. It's something in between. A creative refresh, as they put it. The same characters, the same setting, the same irreverent humor, but now with a clearer purpose and a renewed sense of experimentation. It's Gumball 2.0 for a post-everything world. Their vision is to make a version of Gumball that reflects our times, and that means pushing every boundary even further. Expect satire that hits harder, storylines that play with structure and form, and a wave of new characters designed to embody the wonderfully weird vibe of the modern movement. From algorithm-driven anxieties to the chaos of online trends. From digital overload to generational disconnects, the new episodes aim to comment on it all. With the same tongue-in-cheek wit and emotional heart that's always made Gumball more than just a cartoon. In essence, the rebrand isn't about fixing something that was broken. It's about recognizing that the world has changed, and giving Gumball the room to change with it. Not by abandoning what made it great, but by finally unleashing its full weird potential in a time that's weird enough to handle it. With all these changes, you might be wondering what's actually staying the same. After all, a new name, a new look, and new voices can sound like a total transformation. But at its core, the wonderfully weird world of Gumball is still very much the show fans have grown to love, just with a fresh coat of unpredictable paint. First and foremost, the heart of the series, the Watterson family, remains fully intact. Gumball, Darwin, Anais, Nicole, and Richard are still front and center. Their dynamic is as chaotic and lovable as ever, whether it's Gumball's impulsiveness, Darwin's eternal optimism, Anais's sharp intellect, or Richard's glorious laziness. Every member of the Watterson clan continues to bring their unique energy to the story. They're the emotional anchor of the series, grounding even the most absurd moments in something strangely relatable. The humor is still brilliantly unhinged, still irreverent, and still capable of delivering surprisingly deep insights when you least expect it. That delicate balance between silliness and sincerity, where a joke about a talking donut can turn into a meditation on friendship or failure, it's still alive and well. Elmore itself hasn't mellowed out either. The town is still a kaleidoscope of chaos, a living, breathing, and occasionally glitching universe where logic bends, time loops, and reality can fall apart mid-episode. The wonderfully weird world of Gumball was never meant to be consistent. It was meant to be a sandbox for storytelling, and in this new era, it's more unstable and creatively explosive than ever. And yes, Gumball still breaks the fourth wall. The show's signature meta-commentary remains front and center, whether it's poking fun at cartoon cliches, mocking its own network, or addressing the audience directly. That self-awareness is still a huge part of what makes Gumball feel fresh, no matter how many seasons it's been. So sure, the voice actors are new, the platform is different, the title card might look unfamiliar, but the soul of the show, that chaotic, heartfelt, wonderfully weird spirit, it's still 100% Gumball. Naturally, the fan reactions to this rebrand have been, well, a mixed bag. On one hand, longtime viewers have praised the bold new direction. The updated art style has sparked curiosity, with many fans appreciating the even more surreal and expressive animation. The show's tone, always slightly offbeat, now leans harder into the bizarre, and for a lot of fans, that feels like a natural evolution. It's Gumball but cranked up a few notches. On the other hand, some viewers are still on the fence. One of the most talked about changes has been the shift in voice actors. For fans who grew up with the original cast, the new voices can feel like a jarring adjustment, even if the writing and energy remain familiar. Nostalgia runs deep with a show like Gumball, and any major change is bound to stir up debate. Still, regardless of where people fall on the spectrum, there's a growing consensus. Gumball is entering a new creative phase. Whether you love it or miss the old days, it's clear the series is not just retreading familiar ground, it's actively evolving. And here's the twist. The rebranding isn't the only big thing happening in the Gumball universe. Behind the scenes, the Gumball movie is still in production, a long-anticipated project that's set to expand the world of Elmore in an even more ambitious way. Though there's no official release date yet, it's expected to hit theaters or streaming platforms sometime in 2026. So if the wonderfully weird world of Gumball feels like a major shift, that's because it is. But it may also be just the beginning. A broader Gumball renaissance could be on the horizon, with the show's world growing in ways fans have only begun to imagine. What's your take on this bold new chapter for Gumball? Is the wonderfully weird world of Gumball a brilliant creative leap into uncharted territory, or are you firmly on team keep it amazing? Let us know in the comments below. Are you riding with hashtag team wonderfully weird, embracing the chaos and evolution, or are you sticking with hashtag team classic Gumball, holding tight to the charm and nostalgia of the original series? Either way, this is just the beginning of a whole new era in Elmore, and we're here for that ride. So if you're ready to dive deeper into the absurd, explore the strange, and laugh at whatever reality-breaking madness comes next, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and join us as we celebrate all things Gumball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay chaotic, and above all, stay wonderfully weird.